out, 850, 900. I'm at 850, 9 now, 59, 50. And down now, 50. I'm at down, and you're out again, 1,050. I'm clear, straight to back, now 1,050. I'm at down, and I'm getting down here, now 50, and I'm getting down here, $1,000 now, 50. I'm at down, and I'm getting, I got 1,000 looking for 1,050. It's down, and I'm getting down, 11 and 9. Sorry, 1,050, 122 to buyer, 1,050, 122.
121.
Oh, 121, I'm sorry. Well, that's a nice cabinet.
Robotron. Williams. Looks very nice. Very clean. Joysticks feel cool. Except things might not be all that they seem. What do you see, Austin?
You know, in looking at it, the first thing that bothers me is the video output doesn't really look right. And, you know, that could be a couple of different issues when you look at the board, but that area up top. As Chris said, you know, the cabinet looks beautiful to the untrained eye. Now, everything that's here is not necessarily what it seems. So, none of this is original, and even more concerning, the original board set's not here.
925, now 50, 950, 950, 925, 950, 950, 75, 975. I'm at 950, down here to 75, 975, down here to 975. What do you think? 975 and I'm short of $950.
Robotron was going about $1,000. It looked really, really nice. The key is, and I wasn't here early, so I had Mike here, and he went through it, he talked to some people, and it's not real. It's simulation, and that's one of the things. And one of the things that I wanted to tell everyone, because last time you saw me buy a Robbie Roto, and it was the second time we saw that Robbie Roto. And the very first time I went through it, checked everything out. It came back to the next auction. I bought it for pretty cheap, like $550. It was fake. That Robotron looked really nice. Seemed like $1,000 might be a pretty decent deal. Totally fake, complete garbage. And you know, the person that just bought it probably didn't know that. Thanks to Mike for coming here and getting it done. All right, I'm gonna go buy an asteroids. Are you done? 400. Sort of 121 for 350. 120 down here to 450 now 5. I'm at 450 down here to 5 down 50. I'm at 500 down here to 550 down here to 500 550 and 600 and now 50 650 Danny now 700 now 50 and 800 to 50 to 9 now 900 900 Danny 900. Now 50, 950. I'm at 900, I'm with Danny at 900, 950. I'm at 900, and I'm getting down here about 50, and I'm getting down here to 9 now, 15, 915. Sold it, Danny buys 900.
All right, so we were just bidding on Knights of the Round. Okay game, not like one that anyone would ever really seek out too much. So it got into like nearly $1,000 to $900 after fees. That's over $1,000. I just didn't really feel it at that point. Don't really like the conversion on the cabinet. It needed a lot of work. And it's not one I would put out like that in that condition. So I wanted to make sure I just. It cost a little bit of money for whoever was going to buy it, and they ended up with it.
50. I'm at 50 now, 50 now, 3. I'm at 200, 50 now, 50 now, 3 now, 50 to 4. I'm at 3, 50 now, 4. I'm at 4 now, 50 to 5 now, 50 now, 50 to 5.
All right, so I was bidding on Space Invaders. If you've seen our warehouse, you know I have a few, but it's one of the games that I really like seeing in an arcade when I go into an arcade. Generally reliable. I think it's a lot of fun. But on that 550, it didn't make a lot of sense. Around 200 would have been great. So didn't end up with that one either. Down 25. I'm at 825. I'm at 825 down 75 down 9 down 925. I'm at 900 and I'm getting down here to 925. I'm at 900 and I'm getting down here to 925. All done 925 and I sold at $900. Is that you, Corey? Yeah, 121.
$900 to
121. 121.
121. 121.
All right, so if you've ever seen these really cool NeoGeo Minis, that's what that was. It's a pretty cool game, pretty awesome. And the real key is the prices on those have been going so high so fast. And I don't know if I'll ever have a good chance to buy one for $800 or $900. So went ahead and jumped on it, grabbed it. It's one of those all-time great games that I've been looking for. And I don't know, I was like kind of interested in it and saw the price going way below actual value. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. It's probably not going to a free play, but it might. But to own a piece of history that cheap, happy to get it.
Yes, sir, you're out.
Yeah.
75, 225, and 50 core.
Yeah.
75, and 3, now 3, and another, I'm getting down here to 3. I'm at 275, now I'm getting down here to 325, core, 3, now 50, and 350, now 75, and 4, and 4, and I'm getting down here to 375, 4. I'm at 925, now 50, now 450. I'm at 450, 425, now I'm getting down here to 50, higher, now 450.
Why? Why you gotta do that to me?
You got good taste.
Why you gotta do that to me?
You always got good taste.
God.
You're so smart.
God damn it.
Pick all the good games.
Don't be that way. Why you gotta do that to me?
I was good at 250.
I was also good
I don't
at
know what
250.
happened.
That would have been nice. All right, guys. I don't even know where I ended up on that Clax. 450, 475. I was bidding against Friend of Free Play. He has an awesome arcade. He actually has 2 arcades down in Central Texas, Austin area. Imran, who also is the big Killer Queen distributor nowadays. We're bidding against each other. I think at some point he was just like, neither of us were like really happy about the situation, and he let us have the game. I think we both wanted like a 200, 250 level. We went a little higher. We haven't put a Clax out ever, and it's not a game that you're gonna like run and want to go find, but it's a game that you play, you fall in love with, and then it becomes one of your favorites. So we got it. We're still a fine price for a working arcade with it has the full kit, so we're happy.
I'm at 1300, 12, now 13. I'm at 1200, I'm getting down here to 1250. I'm at 1200, I'm getting down here to 1500, I'm getting down here to 1200, now 50. And 1300, now 1300. I'm at 1250, now 1300, I'm getting down here to 1300. Sold at $1,250 for 21.
All right, so that was a little pricey on the WWF. The real key is we want a 4-player large cabinet like that. And that is the dedicated way they played it. We're gonna tweak it. We're gonna probably, we got Power Stone 2 that we really wanna get into a good playable cabinet. So something like that. And I would have liked to pay more like $900, but they don't come up very often. Plastic was in good shape. The cabinets was overall pretty good. We're gonna have to do some monitor work, but ultimately happy with the purchase. Our truck is not gonna be super happy. It looks like it weighs like 800, 900,000 pounds. I don't know. It looks heavy, so I'm glad I don't have to move it.
25, 325, double over there. 325, 325, now 50, 75, 375, 375. Anybody else going to sell it? 375, sold, 321, thank you.
We've told the story of Vroom a lot, so I don't want to go too much into it. But Vroom, they put arcade games in daycares. So all the games that they had found were obscure games that had no violence, because if you remember the early 90s and 2000s, a lot of games were violent. So they specialized in buying up a lot of cheap, non-violent PCBs, which in the 90s there were lots of them. And now those PCBs that they were getting for $10 or $5 a board are worth hundreds or thousands of dollars. So they've been bringing them to auction, making pretty good amounts. So we just saw 2 Vrooms come up that we were interested in. One was a Bally Cincy cabinet, wood cabinet. It was running a Dyna Blaster, some sort of like Bomberman knockoff. I've never heard of it. It could be a cool game. It looked kind of neat. And then the one next to it was that the Taito F3 Bobble in a nice dynamo cut corner. So 2 really kind of cool games. We were able to get the Bobble. It's a board that we actually like. We find pretty reliable, and that's a really great game. So I think we're going to be able to put that on the floor in not too long. For $300, not bad.
This is right now 4, this is right now 4. Our dedicated track of 4 now corner, 425 now 50, 4 right now 50, 450, 75, 5, thank you. 500, 525, 500, I've got 5 over here. 500, 525 black, 50, 500, now 675, 6, now 25, 50, 75, 7, 725. It's got side art on it. It's nice. What?
Oh, I just thought you were doing shadow puppets. 725, now 750, 720. I'm over here. 725, now 750. 750, now 75. 800. I got 775 back there. I need 800. 800, now 825. Down 900. Thank you. 900, 925, 900, 925, 925, 925, down 950, 950, 975, 1,000, 1025, 1050, 75, 11, 12, let's just go faster, 13, 14. You'll be 13, 25 then? I think it goes a hell of a lot faster. I just go back up to hundreds. Sold, 121, 1,300 bucks.
I'm at 200, I get it down here to 20, I get it down here to 225. I'm at 200, I get it down here to 25, now 50, now 225, 50. I'm at 220, I get it down here to now 75, and 275, now 3, down 325. I'm at 300, I get it down here to 25, now 50, now 75, now 4, and 25, 425, 450. I'm at 420, I get it down here to 50, now 75, 475.
All right, guys, you saw me bid on that track and field. It was a great, actually, example of track and field. I overpaid, primarily to just make sure that we have the games we need for our arcade. And sometimes that's really hard. And the interesting thing is, in like an auction environment, a track and field like that, you might end up seeing go for like $500, $600, $700, or up to like $13 like we paid. But if someone was to list that online in its current condition, they'd probably be asking that $1,250, $1,500 type range. So even though it's an overpay in this exact environment, it was in really great shape, it was working great, and it's a game that we need. So went ahead and bought it, and you know, the most important thing to me is to make sure our arcade has what it needs. The next one you saw me bid on was a Joust. I think it was actually a really good deal. I think it was going to be fixable. It looked like it used to work. Everyone was pretty concerned that it wasn't turning on, so it's probably some sort of thing. One of our regulars came by and said that he thinks it's probably just power. So we were willing to go a little higher on a broken Joust. But again, I did just buy a good working Joust today that works great and I love. So I didn't really need a broken one that was an overpay. So I jumped out of that. Still some interesting stuff to come, and it's actually been a pretty good auction.